In our first section in 8.1, we took a look at the equation for an ellipse. Now what we're going to do is we're going to graph them. I think it's going to be pretty easy for you. Let's get started. So here's a quick review of the formula. It's all in, if you have the PowerPoints, you have all that. Let's just get started. I think it'll make more sense if we just do one of these. So remember what we said. So here's what they want. They want the center vertices. The co-vertices are along the minor axis and the foci. Well, we know how to do this. So first of all, there's no h and k here, so my center is 0, 0. Pretty easy, since there's no x minus or y minus. So we've got a center right at 0, 0. Now, if you notice here, this is the larger number. So this is getting stretched vertically. So a is going to be 5. So if we want the vertices, we are going to go, so this is going to go, the major axis is going vertically. So if we're at 0, 0, we want to go 5 up and 5 down. So we've got, those are my vertices. Now, let's go ahead and do the co-vertice next. That would be the minor axis. So this is b squared, so we know b is 3. So we're going horizontally here, so we're going to go positive 3 and negative 3 away from 0. So my co-vertices are 3, 0 and negative 3, 0. So b is 3, and we're coming from the center, so we're going right and left 3. That's how I'm getting these two. And finally, the foci, we're going to need this formula, c squared equals a squared minus b squared. Well, a squared is 25, b squared is 9. So c squared then is 16. So we square root that. C is 4. So if we start at the center, we're going to go along the major axis for the for the foci. So we're starting at the center, we're going up 4 and down 4. So my vertices are at 0, 4, 0, negative 4. Okay, I've probably gone over the picture of the graph here, but I have all the information that I need. So get the same thing they had there. Just plot all those points. Along the major axis, we were positive 5, negative 5. Everything we just talked about, it's all right here. And we just connect it. Okay, so let's go again here. Let's talk through here. Center, once again, is at 0, 0, because we don't have any h and k. Now, this time our major axis is horizontal, and my a is going to be 6. So we're going to go right and left 6. So my vertices are at 6, 0, negative 6, 0. My co-vertice, my b is 2. It's the square root of this 4. So b is 2. Co-vertice this time is going vertically. So I've got 0, 2. So it's from the center, so up 2, down 2. Now to find the foci, we've got c squared equals a squared, which is 36, minus b squared. So c squared is going to be 32. So c is going to be the square root of 32, which is the same double checking myself here, 16. Yep. Okay, so c is going to be 4 square root of 2. So we're starting at the center. The major axis is horizontally, so my foci are going to go like this. Now, all I have to do is graph everything. Plot all my points, connect it, and I got it. All right, now this one, we want to graph it, but we have not started in the standard form. You notice we're not in that form we like. It's really easy to fix this. Over here in the equation, this should always be 1. So if there's something other than 1 there, we're just going to divide the entire equation by this number. If I divide 100 by 100, it's going to be the 1 I'm looking for. But I can't just divide it here. I've got to do it all the way through the equation. So sorry, this jumped a little too quick. So look what they're doing. I'm just dividing 100 all the way through. Well, that creates the 1 that I was looking for. And look what it's created here. It's created a squared and b squared just by dividing. So simplified that down, I got the 25. Simplified that down, got me the 4. And there we go. Now, the major axis is the horizontal. So a is going to be 5. well, we'll go through all the different things. A is going to be 5. We're centered at 0 again. So A is going to be plus or minus 5. So vertically is going to be our minor axis. So B squared is 4, so B is 2. So we're going up and down 2 vertically. And then to find C squared, we just crunch like we did before. It's going to turn out to be the square root of 21. So we're going horizontally with that, so plus or minus the square root of 21. Plot all our points, connect them, and we got it. Okay, same thing here. This time we're going to divide through. We want this to be 1. So we're going to divide all the way through by 784. So when you do that, I would not have realized this, but when you do that, here's what you get. So divided all three numbers by 784. Now, this is my B this time, so my larger axis is vertical. It's on the Y. So A is going to be 7, and we're stretching vertically. So up 7, down 7, centered at 0 again. So notice that. Okay, vertices, I already said that. Okay, so how about on our minor axes, our co-vertices? B is going to be 4, so we're going right and left 4 because it's on the X. And then to find the foci, C squared is A squared minus B squared. 49 minus 16. So C squared is 33. That's where they're getting the square. C is the square root of 33. So that's vertically, so we add it, subtract it, connect all our dots, and we got it. Okay, now all this message is saying sometimes it's not centered at the origin. So we're just going to have to take into account that we're moving not from 0, 0, but we're moving from wherever HK is at. So it's not really very hard. Everything's the same. So let's find our center. Remember, the formula is built with a minus. So my center here is 2, 5. Oh, no, I messed up. My center is negative 2, 5. So if it's built with a minus, this is negative 2 and 5. Okay, how about the vertice? Well, our major axis is going to be vertical. So it's 3 here is my A. Now, we're not going from 0, 0 this time, so it's a little bit harder. So we're going vertically, adding 3, and subtracting 3 from the Y. So there's my vertices, negative 2, 8, and negative 2, 2. Now my co-vertices, B is 2, and that's the horizontal. So I'm adding 2 to this, and I'd get 0, 5. Taking 2 away from this, and I'd get negative 4, 5. Okay, lastly, the foci. So we got to find C squared. We've got A squared minus B squared. So C squared is 5, so C is plus or minus the square root of 5. So we're adding and subtracting the square root of 5 to this center. So this center right here. So our foci are going to be a little strange. We're adding it along the major axis, so our foci are going to be negative 2, 5 plus the square root of 5, and negative 2, 5 minus the square root of 5. Okay, I've got everything I need, so we just plot those points, connect the dots, and we got it. So the only thing that's changed, just take into account we're adjusting for a new center. It's not at the origin. Okay, let's try one more of these here. So let's find our center. Now remember, it's built with a minus, so my center here is at 4, 2. Now how about the vertices? Well, we're stretching the major axis is going to be horizontally. So, and A is going to be 6. So I'm going 6 on the X. So 10, 2. And I'm taking 6 away on the X. Negative 2, 2. That makes sense? Okay, now our co-vertice is going to be, B is going to be the square root of 20, which would be reduced to square root of 5. So that's vertically. So we're going to we're at our center, and we're at our center, and we're going to add to square root of 5. And we're at our center, and we're going to subtract to square root of 5. Okay, let's find our foci by doing C squared equals 36 minus 20. c squared equals 16. C is going to be plus or minus 4. So we're adding 4 to the center. Remember, the major axis is the x. So we're adding 4. So I should do it over here. Adding 4, we get 8, 2. Taking away 4, we get 0, 2. All right, we've got all our major points. All we got to do is graph them, connect them, and we got it. Okay, I think that's pretty straightforward. I hope you understand. If you've got a good enough grip on the formula, the only real twist is finding the foci is c squared equals a squared minus b squared. Just be careful if you've moved the center, and remember that the center's formula is built with a minus. X minus h, y minus k.